Alright, boys and girls, we have a study this week where we're going to be looking at Latin roots. Those are parts of words, and when they are added to words, they kind of help you have a little bit of an understanding of what the words mean. Kind of like how we did cardio and cardi and cord in Module 1 with the literal heart. We're going to now go ahead and take a look at some other Latin roots. Please go ahead and put your name at the top of the paper. Today's date is 2/25/19. Let's go ahead and read the words together out loud. Artisan.
Artisan, craftsperson, skill.
Oh, no. We're just doing the words. Artisan.
Artisan.
Artifact.
Artifact.
Artistic.
Artistic.
Artist.
Artist.
Population.
Population.
Populace.
Populous.
Popular.
Popular.
Corporation.
Corporation.
Corporal.
Corporal.
And core.
Core.
Now this looks different because the P is silent and so is the S. Okay, it's just core. Alright, so you can see how these words either have the Latin root art, the Latin root pop, or the Latin root core. Let's go ahead and take a look at the meanings. Alright, so when we're looking at the words with art, do you see these words here are the ones that are listed there with the root word art in it?
Yes.
An artisan is
a craft person skilled in an industry or a trade.
Alright. So an artisan might be, an example of an artisan might be someone who is a plumber. We don't really think of a plumber as being an artisan, but we actually just had our sink break in the kitchen, and Mr. Denny was in a panic because he didn't know how to fix it. Well, that's when we called someone who is skilled in the trade of plumbing to come in and work on our kitchen sink. All right, the next word is artifact. An artifact is something
Something such as a tool made by human skill.
An artifact. So a human had to make it. Right. Doesn't have to be a tool.
No.
It could, a lot of times whenever not too long ago, we were looking at those lost civilizations from, ancient times, and whenever the archaeologists go on digs in those areas, sometimes they'll find artifacts that might be dishes or bowls. It might be weapons, just different things from that society, from that civilization. Anytime you do work and turn it in, it's an artifact as well because it's proof that you've done the work. The next word is artistic. It means
having to do with art or artist.
That's right, art or artist. Now, is that just painting? Is that the only type of art we're talking about?
No.
What can we, sculpting?
Hair.
Yeah, beauticians and cosmetologists can be considered artistic. Even the people who make the sandwiches at Subway, they're called sub-artists or sandwich artists because they do the art of putting together a sandwich based upon what you want. All right, an artist
It's someone who paints or is skilled in other fine arts.
So besides painting, what are some other fine arts?
Sculpting.
Sculpting.
Cooking.
Drawing. Cooking.
Can we be a nail artist?
The fine arts are more like architecture, dancing, singing, all of those those are all considered fine arts. All right. The population is
the number of people living in a place.
Alright, that's because pop means people when it comes to the Latin root pop. When a place is populous,
it has a lot of people.
So even though this room is kind of small, I wouldn't necessarily say that we have a populous classroom because there's only 19 of you all, 20 counting me. It could get a lot more populated. In fact, when other classrooms come into this class, it can be a little bit more crowded. If you are popular, you're well liked. Is there anything else besides people that can be popular? Jobs, animals, places,
video games,
movies, celebrities, right? Okay, thank you. Alright. And then the last Latin root we have is cor, which means body. Alright. A corporation.
An organization made up of a group of people who act as large.
So it's like a body of people all together, coming together and working as one.
Like this.
Corporal means
Having to do with the body.
we're not talking about a corporal in the military. That's different. But corporal, a lot of times, your parents might remember, I know I definitely do, there's a thing called corporal punishment in schools. And so that meant that if you acted up, the principal was allowed to paddle you. They were able to whip you. And that was considered corporal punishment because they were allowed to do something to your body for punishment. All right, and then the last one is a corps. A corps is
A group of people with special training.
like the Peace Corps. The Peace Corps goes to other countries and kind of helps underprivileged areas build homes and things like that for one another. All right, let's look at the directions for these for this assignment for today. It says read the vocabulary word, circle two other words. I want you to circle that part. Circle two other words that mean almost the same thing. So what you're looking for, and I actually want you to write it here, you are looking for synonyms. One is not going to be circled. You're going straight across. So when you go to popular, we're not going to call it any answers, but when you get to the word popular, you have favored, liked, and detested. Well, two of those words will be circled and one of them will not. Then you're going to underline the root of each of the words on these three pieces. Okay? This is due tomorrow. To 2619. Your next piece over here is going to be due Thursday. And that's going to be 28/19, the last day of February. Looking right above that, the very bottom of page 49, you're writing to learn. Explain why it is helpful to know the root of a word. Use at least two vocabularies in your examples. You can do that if you want. I've had several people get 5 extra points for that. But it's not required. So you can put a +5 over here beside it if you're interested in doing it. If you're not interested in doing it, you can put a line across. It's extra credit. At the top, I want you to go ahead and write yourself the note about context clues. This goes directly with what we are currently learning in reading stations, using context clues to help you understand which word fits here or which word you could use. So we're going to go ahead and do number 1 together. So everybody should have number 1 on part A correct come Thursday. Tokyo, Japan is a crowded and blank city. Well, now that I know that it's talking about crowded, when it's talking about people, I know that I'm looking for something with pop, all right? I no longer have to worry about art or core. So Tokyo, Japan is a crowded and population city. Tokyo, Japan is a crowded and populous city. Tokyo, Japan is a crowded and popular city. Well, two of those words, I would think populous and popular would go. But when we look back over here, popular is more about being well-liked, whereas populous is talking about having a lot of people. Well, if it's crowded, then it must have a lot of people. So populous would be the word that we would use for number 1. So, and then our part B, you need to go across here and just check one answer. Please do not put an X on one and a check on the other. Just check the box that goes with each question. All right, as always, if you have any questions, boys and girls, I'm here for you. Make sure this is easy